So at the moment, the agronomist has to look at the separate level graph like you see in front of you, and he has to decide where roots are active or not. And we made that a little bit easier. So what you do now is you go click on graph, and there is event detection right here. Okay, and you got several choices here: irrigation, irrigation root activity, irrigation analysis, and clear the picture. So we'll start with the first one, root activity. Now, this little box here, it says minimum root step. So what that means is anything less than 0.25 millimeter will not be detected. And then, so anyway, leave it at 0.25, and then you just say OK, and you get root activity, where these little ovals are. So the vertical distance of the this oval shape is the amount of water use. So you can see as we go deeper, it gets less and less. And I can zoom in a little bit more. And the horizontal distance is the duration. It starts and it ends. And there are examples, the roots are coming in and out of activity. You can see that here. For example, after this irrigation, you can see, things are starting to move, and then they slow down again. Okay, so the next thing is we can basically go one step further, which say is irrigation and root activity. So the algorithm automatically detects if you have a rising rate, right? A rising rate like this one here, it should be more than 0.4 of a millimeter per hour. Then it will be detected as irrigation. So let's do that. Okay, and now we can actually zoom in a bit. So now you can see irrigation events, right? And how deep they're going. Let me see. Okay, we go graph, we add a pane. So we add the same pane as separate level graph, stacked, and go like that. We make it really easy for the user, for the end user. We say we want the irrigation analysis. Okay, and what that does is this. It basically shows you the root depths as a picture. Okay, it also shows you the irrigation depth, but it qualifies. So you can see the roots. You can actually you see there's root activity at these lower levels, but then they fade away. I'll explain that in a minute. But if the irrigation is short, this is a good example. You can see root activity at this level here, and you see the color. So this is active, but the irrigation only goes to the green level. So it's under irrigation. Okay. You can see here as a depth of irrigation, but there's no active roots right now here. So it's an over irrigation, right?
Okay, so blue is when over irrigated, and red
Yes.
with is okay.
Yes. And green is perfect. And green is perfect. When you choose irrigation analysis, it says, okay, root activity. After root activity stopped, do you assume that roots are still active 2 days afterwards, 3 days afterwards, 1 day after, right? So, for example, in this case right here, on the 11th of March, we're seeing root activity, but on the 12th of March, at the purple line, we don't see it. And at the 13th of March, we don't see it. And on the 14th of March, we don't see it. But because you put here 3 days extra, right, of root activity, it still assumes roots would be active at that level. Okay. Yeah. So if I change that to just 1 day, so the green one now because you said, okay, now after that day there's no more root activity. So in this case, it's an over irrigation. But if you, and we left the 3 days in most cases, if you say, now I think I just want to keep these 3 days still, then it assumes roots are still active, which they actually are, because you can see after the irrigation event they start again. So basically, what you're seeing here is, if you go through the data, you can see, how well the depth of irrigation is matched to the roots. This is a vineyard, so they deliberately under-irrigate a little bit. So that's why they're all red. The idea of the classification red, green, and blue is that at the end of the season, we can count how many irrigations were good, or too much, too little, or just right. So you can see sometimes you get very slow changes after, but by adjusting the sensitivity, right, you might be able to detect that. For example, you see a rise here. So let's change the event here. So I gotta make that 0.1. And you can see now the irrigation is more fine-tuned. It detects this one. So with 0.4 of a millimeter, it would stop there, but with 0.1, you can show it now all the way. And that's only water use. Again, if we go event detection and we say irrigation root activity with increasing aeration, can you see the root activity really starts to? So when you zoom into this, you can actually see when it really starts to improve. Look at this. Now you see level by level. It's really nice, because we changed irrigation management. Done.